Well, happy April Fool's Day, everybody. Today is episode 31, the last of A Minute with Mud. And to spark the occasion, I am smoking my very first joint after over 90 days, so I got my cleansing. They call them spliffs for those who don't know. A little tobacco in them. But I just listened to a song from Nathaniel Ratcliffe called Still Trying. And I love the chorus in that where it's like, I don't know a goddamn thing. Because I really don't. I don't think anybody who claims to know something really knows. I'm just trying because I woke up from a coma, was convinced to live again, found a meaning to live again, which was to create as much harmony as possible before I die again. And that's been a blessing and a curse ever since. 12 years ago. A little over 12 years ago. And I find the weed, marijuana, to be one of the most beneficial medicines that I've ever come across. Take too much and it'll not be medicine anymore. You'll be a pot zombie is what I call it. But as far as anxiety, depression, cleansing your body, clearing out all the bad vibes or bad bugs, helps. It's helped me a lot. But it also opens up your pineal gland, which they've been trying to suppress for years and years. So, all I tried to do is build a business model based around Mother Nature. And ever since, I've come across approval, disapproval, over and over and over. And it's really been a struggle, I'll say that much. I am continuing to heal my body to get it back to good again. Once I'm good, I really don't have a whole lot of empathy for the people around me because I don't want those vibes inside of me, if you get what I'm saying. So I've chose to go back down, back up, back down, over again, and learn about the human state and the human condition, because I really don't get it. We have happy moments, sad moments, all these emotional moments, then we have logic and zero emotion. So there's full spectrum. We've created everything. Every thought is a thing. And so I really want to get back to my positive influence, become more of a positive influencer on maybe we do have a chance. Maybe life could happen. Maybe we do have an opportunity. And I was talking to one of my good buddies last night that I hadn't seen in a while about our Change the World scenarios, and came to a pretty good conclusion on networking with networks with the Good Hearts Army, and allowing anyone with a passion or purpose to participate under the umbrella of Planet Perfect Dayz. I'm sure most people don't even get the concept. It's kind of one of those, I have to get into those modes where I'm like, everybody, we can do this. And it's very daunting and difficult at times, but our energies are contagious. Our auras, our bubbles, our essence is completely contagious. You walk into a room, it's going to affect the room. And we're really not even in a room, we're in the world. So the world itself, Mother Gaia and every other label of what we're on, what the things are that are here, is crying. She's crying. He, she, both is crying. This river's flooded. It'll recede. All this quarantine and distractions from our true nature and what would make us really light up and shine and be happy. I've heard people that are amazing people that are in the show business or music or some area of influence tell me that I have a bright light. Well, I'll tell you something. I can have the brightest light or the darkest darkness, and I've experienced so much of it. And that's what we were talking about last night, is something about experience and how you'll never really know the stove is hot until you touch it. You'll never really know. Well, I touched enough darkness, I touched enough hard times, and a lot of it was on purpose. I chose to do those things, and he was telling me, let's climb that tower. And I'm like, after so many years, I'd like to gauge my risks. My risky behavior I would like to gauge, and I would like to see it with a positive outcome. Whether it be even up to the point of a murder. If I'm going to murder somebody, I'm going to murder a serial killer. Or somebody that doesn't needs to stop, kind of thing. So, the methods and the results, basically just the results and the way that it happens. There's been a lot of misconceptions about this virus, and I was starting to talk about positive results. Well, we're only using the essentials. All the essential businesses are closed, so that it destroys the environment or destroys the economy, but it also makes us focus on essentials, things like that. I mean, there's a few more, but I'm under the bridge here, under the railroad track bridge, because it was raining and I didn't want to get water on my stuff, right? Anyway, I'm smoking some more of this. And looking back at some of these videos, the goal of doing these videos was to get over my apprehension about showing my face and just find some more confidence in that. And weed has totally helped me throughout all these years, because I've gotten high and been like, all right, I can do this now. And then I go in there and I'm like, poof, and everybody's like, holy shit. Like, every time I get really high, I'll be like, talk, or, sometimes that bothers a lot of people. I need to do a lot more listening. But it was more of stretching my own stress threshold in a social situation. So I've seen many of those. But apparently it allows you to focus on one thing more than everything. So it's more of a dialed in kind of thing. So you go to the reach depths levels where the common average sober person's going to be like, what the hell was that? But at the time that person came up with it, I'm pretty sure it was like legit most of the time. As far as the appetite, wanting to have the munchies and eat, it's because this stuff is killing the bad stuff inside of us, and the bad stuff is like, no, don't let us die. And I guess there's a train coming, so I'm gonna smoke weed while this train goes by. Alright, that was a quick one. Just a little guy. And I've taken breaks. If you smoke weed constantly, you won't get the same effect as if you stop and then smoke it again with a creative purpose in mind. Poof, your focus goes right where you need to do it for it to go. If you're going to be distracted or just do it for recreational purposes, it's not considered medicine in my eyes. And that's like the exes that I've been with, which, are a lot of people I think would probably consider not as important because it's this hookup, who cares, love yourself first kind of mentality. And I get that one, but I also get going really into another person. Intimate, into me I see, like the Love Guru movie. I love that movie. Anytime you watch the Love Guru, you're gonna be alright at the end of it. You spend that hour, you're good. So that what I was talking about it killing everything inside of us, our immune system, everything that's attacking our immune systems, all those amoebas or cells. And then afterwards, if you stop smoking, you're kind of moody because you've got to get rid of those toxins because your body's not flushing it fast enough. You're not sweating every day. You're not cleansing every day a lot of times. And you're mostly, like nowadays, everybody's indoors. That's the worst thing you can do for sickness is stay indoors. But then you come off of it and you don't have it done, so you're moody. And that's what happens with that part of it. Because we're organic creatures. Only 10% of us are actually human cells. It's probably the stronger of the many. And if they're not stronger than the others, 90% DNA of bacterias and viruses and worms and parasites and all these other parts of life that decay dead things. Well, if we're killing ourselves, those things are going to enter us and start eating us. If we're at full spectrum and shining all the way, that stuff can't even touch us. I mean, I've been there. I've experienced these flow states of constant flow state. When you're in constant flow state, that takes effort. A lot of people tell me, why don't you do it? Do it. And stuff. They push me towards it. And I'm like, you have any idea the amount of sheer power and greatness and focus and fluidity you have to use in billions of other words, all the other words, to get to the point where you've got everybody giving a shit about each other, really loving each other and helping each other out and taking care of each other, like all those childhood dreams really will awaken your inner child in that way, because I don't see a shit ton of kids doing those things unless they've modeled it from their parents in the first place. And that's how it works. People, that's how it works. So I get the idea, the whole concept of this basic science and religious, spiritual, science and spiritual, I'll say, because religion is just part of the organized science. Science has their medical field. It's like, my goodness, once you see the top and the bottom as clear as I've been able to see it after this coma of waking up with nothing, okay? Right? Nothing. Being like, fuck, do this again? I don't know. Believe me, the people that have gone through this experience with me and met me and done things in that way on the whole learning curve of all of this, oh my god, I'm so sorry. It's not funny. It hurts, and then you gotta like laugh or die. I remember that in Salt Lake, doing Laugh or Die when that was Attack of the Teflon Chickens. A lot of people look at that page and I'm like, okay, but I gotta get people looking at, what a Good Arts Army would be, or a network of volunteers. Jameson, he said volunteers, and I remember telling him about that guru guy that used that word in a podcast that I was listening to once. And it's volunteers, willing volunteers, people that want or willing, like, I want to fucking help, And so I do that stuff, and I volunteer. And I mean, yeah, it's April Fool's, but we're gonna start. I hope I hope the two of us can at least volunteer once at the different food bank. I've got my food bank. You know, it's straight up say volunteer on that shit. I had to work 5 times to get the shirt. And after I got that shirt, I was so happy. Just for that one little thing, you know? It says it. And it's really not that, it's pretty trivial in the grand scheme of things. I mean, holy shit, all the different lives, all the different people. Nearly 8 billion of us. And I used to say in groups when I was first getting clean about hugging or touching every 8 billion of, in a message, in a way. I would never truly feel completely human unless I did that. And so it's kind of cool seeing people talking about influencers now and things. I'm just not really into that style that happens with it. It's got to have inspiration rather than motivate or manipulation, and manipulations are evident. Inspirations are like, like most people would rather be there. Most people would rather be doing what they really love to do. So why not have everybody doing what they really love to do together and purchase things, off of lifecouldappen.shop. It's part of this game. I mean, I don't care what it's called. I don't care about all these identity things with it. I just want it to really work. Like I would play this thing, and maybe it's got parts. I mean, of course it's got parts of all the path prior to the seed and the root and growing and everything. So, nature has it. Nature already has the answer, and we're trying to play like we're not there all the time. I mean, we're there all the time, but we're like little death dealer societies compared to nature. As with these earthquakes and stuff, I'm like, interesting. And we used to think that was a big deal. Now everybody's messed off on this new sickness, but it's really a lot more about our old sicknesses renewing. I think that whole Saturn come back around thing and energies and planets out there, they've probably got something to do with it, because we don't get to live unless around 8 minutes for the sun to hit us. All those light years and how far away everything is. Well, everything's right here still. It's still right here. That one dude, what was it? The Untethered Soul. This guy that wrote that. He's ended up to being a billionaire from coding and everything, and he was just doing it all on his own little property, and it's some kind of universal something now. But I mean, all those influential people that are like, hey, I'm gonna be here, like I'm gonna do this for real, and don't bother me or help out kind of thing. Like, the best leaders are the ones that create more leaders. From Simon Sinek, Leaders Eat Last. I mean, all these different books, information, all the things out there. I've crammed my mind with it. I've gotten information overload so many times because of it. And so it's just kind of been like, all right. But when you're in information overload and flow state in a way, it, plus all the downloads and upgrades and all that crap, I mean, I'd rather just be myself all the time. Everybody else would too. And that's why they're all up in their little rooms, we all got our little forts going on in a way. So, I built a lot of forts when I was a kid. It was like 3 dudes. That's 3 guys, 3, 4, 5 maybe, different ages at times. Fingal growing up there, that's a whole different category. In a way, I've never really seen that kind of stuff. I can see why it happened where I came. And then how in Fight Club, in the movie, when one day I realized the guy's like, oh, I heard he was born in a mental institution, and that's like, what? I seen that so many times, and I kind of was like, my mom's like, well, it's the second floor, but the idea is that I was born in a mental institution, because the old man's telling these construction workers to put the trees back on acid and beer, and alcohol, and that's a different state of mind, so I wouldn't recommend that in public. Oh my goodness. So, this whole life story type of deal, and then you end up having to share. They're like, your story, you should write a book and all this. I'm like, what? Really? But the whole time I've made plenty of mistakes, been so much trauma bonding, been through so many traumas with people or my own. Whoa. I had a house, was married when I was fucking 18 to 19, 20, that's like 20. In the year 2000, I was fucking tripping on acid in the year 2000, and this guy was like, Mud's gonna kill me, like he meant it. And he's on acid, and I was like, what the fuck, dude, chill out, like, let's just have fun, what are you talking about? I had come back from my crazy travels in some Carolinas, and I was young, things like that, and I was like, okay, and then I never saw the guy again in the year 2000, and Eve, my ex-wife, I'll say my ex-wife, her name is Eve, by the way, which is interesting to me because it was really tough to get over after the Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, blah, blah. Anyway, it turns out 7 years later, after it was like I was a hostile young asshole, she said, you made me cheat, kind of thing, and it sounds funny, but it's kind of true. And then trying to get over that stuff, and when we were trying to get over that stuff, going through recovery from affairs stuff, courses, and things. I mean, I started envelope stuffing when I was that young. Like envelope, trying to make money and doing that. And so we started from the bottom. I've been at Herbalife Festival, like conferences, like trying. I've done all the internet stuff, the Warrior Forum, Black Hat things. Okay, another train. I gotta hit this anyway. Okay, that one was a little longer. But I'd go so far as to say rape, too. And all of the hard times, the hostile environment growing up in, and how it hurts, because I would love to help every woman from it, man or woman. But not being that guy. So, all the trauma bonding, all the pain, all the hurts between me and different people. That I've done my best to make amends to as well. Like, I've followed that path. Because it makes no sense not to, in any ways. In what way are you gonna lie and hide and cheat and steal and all that negative karma crap? But Saturn comes back around, and supposedly Saturn is the planet for karma. And I'm like, okay, interesting. I mean, it's whether or not I believe in any of things or anything, it has to do with the fact that we created it, we thought it up, we made it. So it's kind of there, but it's our own torment because of we have to stay in reflection mode and figure out how to fix it and things like that. I mean, that old rock, you know, the old roots, the lessons beforehand, before all the chaos and all different directions and diversity. I mean, I love the hearing someone say generator of diversity, which is like God. That's generator of diversity, and whether or not we're taking it in a higher or lower direction, realizing that it's there and it is possible, but it doesn't have to exist. Like that woman who came out of the coma and was like, I saw angels and demons everywhere, and I was like, just, you know, so you have your own view of what an angel or demon is, but what was hers? You know? So it's like, huh. God, it took me by surprise on that one. But I just woke up and was like, fucking get this out of my arm, and then whoa. Like very PTSD, like panicked, probably a lot of anxiety. I mean, I was fucking off the walls for years at a time, trying to figure things out again. And I've come this far with the hope and the prayer of making the world a better place, create as much harmony as possible, is stuck there. And yeah, it's a heavy weight, you know. Why you gotta have such a heavy burdens all the time, everything. Well, mostly because I don't want to feel left out when you're like shining and you wish everybody else was shining too and real lit up and in tune, in alignment with everything, you know, actualizing themselves in the superhuman us. You know, like in a game, like really, I mean, that would be cool. I would play that shit. So, you know, I've gone deep and stuff with so many different people and the reflections that they've offered me. I mean, I remember telling someone once, well, you know, we were doing meth at the time, but I remember telling him, because I was like, shut up, Mud, shut up, and I could never stop talking. Like I couldn't, I was stuck. Full expression, I suppose. Be you too full. Be you too full. Unite, rise, shine. And all these GH Army things that I've been doing. But I'm gonna have to say goodbye because the computer's getting wet. Peace, love, blessings.